How you doing, Warrior Team Fitness? So we are having a awesome month, and by that I mean this is one of those months where you're like, wow, does really everything happen like this in one month? And there's moments in this business where you just know that you have to keep going and keep pushing. And no matter what, you just keep going. You just keep pushing. Imagine if your place of business, what if, I'll use Romero for an example because I know Romero. If the VA all of a sudden decided, oh, well, we're not going to process claims today, tell you what, there'd be some angry, I see your face, Krista. There'd be some angry people in the world, probably riots, might blow up cars. So when it comes to doing what we do, we just do it every day. And that's
because hard work and consistency pays off. It really does. You get rewarded for the attitude that you put out and the consistency that you keep using. Positivity. Okay.
See, she always says it the nice way.
Yes.
Like, that's how fast. Hi, sweetie. You look beautiful.
But we are going to get going because our goal is not to waste your entire evening and sit here for 55 minutes on a Zoom chat. And we want to try and get as much of our heart into you and onto you in 30 minutes and let you have the rest of your night to yourself. So one thing that we wanted to talk about first and foremost was Super Saturday. This month, October, it is going to be on obviously October 17th. Sometimes if you're lucky, and something comes up and you can't do it on a Saturday, if there is in your area, it will be on a Sunday. So what you have to do is we're going to post the link again in the group to see if there are any ones close to you and you can register to go to those events. I can strongly encourage that you try and make every event that you can that is in your budget or free, because there are free ones. It just so happens that for October in our area, they are doing Super Saturday on Saturday, and they're doing the 3 vital behaviors on Sunday. I am still trying to get to that one. I would love for my husband to let me go just because I really want to go see what it's about. But we also have an apostle coming in that weekend to our church. So it's we might need to pray about that one
We're
first.
going to probably do a divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Is what's going to happen. So I'll show my face at church. Just, oh, hey, how you doing? Shake hands, kiss babies, slap some guys around. I don't know. And then Jennifer will go to Raleigh.
So that's how bad I want to go.
I thought I was saying. I'm just kidding. She'll go to Raleigh. And she'll do the 3 vital behaviors training. That way, when she comes back, though, she can teach me the 3 vital behaviors training that she got, everything that she got from there. And it's just how we divide and conquer. So.
Okay, but the reason that you want
for that, by the way, for all of you guys.
The reason you want to go to these events is because it gets people in your local area accustomed to you and you accustomed to them. It actually helps build a positive relationship with people in your area. Even if you have to drive an hour to 2 hours away, it depends on you, your budget, and what you can accomplish in that weekend. But Anthony attended, and he attended another one, and then he saw the potential that Beachbody has. And so that is what I want you to see, because sometimes you just don't get it, being in Rocket Nation or in Warrior Team Fitness, or
some of you guys are in Dare to Dream.
Yeah. And you want to get plugged in with people around you, because you never know if you're going to meet your next best friend, to be honest with you. We found people in Fayetteville right here that we didn't even know were coaches. Our neighbor across the street is a coach of one of our friends that we met at a Super Saturday. How freaking crazy is that?
That's in Dare to Dream.
Exactly. And our old neighbor, she just moved away, which was a total bummer because I loved her. She was a Beachbody coach also, and at first she was just a discount coach, and shortly after 4 or 5 months, she actually became a working coach.
She became Diamond like that.
Yeah, I got Diamond, and I swear 3 weeks later she got Diamond. I was we got to celebrate together. So it was, you never know who you're gonna meet and who you're gonna find and connect with there.
Yeah.
So I strongly encourage it. And you know what? They're fun, because everyone we've gone to is like a dress-up party, and you get to have fun. Reach outside your normal, everyday tendencies. We went to Superhero, and honestly,
and we go in hard.
And we go in crazy, because these people did not do anything. They wore Superman t-shirts and
they were
Iron
taking
Man t-shirts.
pictures with us. We were Tom Cruise, and I don't know, it was crazy. We walked in and people were like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?"
Seriously, we were I was,
Sure.
What was I? I don't even know what I was.
The first superhero, you were Wolverine. You wore the
Wolverine, I
Wolverine
had the
buff
big,
chest.
huge buff chest. If you look at my profile not my profile picture, but in my profile, my photos, you'll see me in this huge puffy thing. It was so uncomfortable and so hot. But we had people asking us for pictures, and then we did the big group photo, and we were laying down in front. It was hilarious.
They made us lay down in
front. They did. They made us be front and center. And then the next time it was the 80s, and it just so happened one of the ladies at the Super Saturday, who is one of the header-uppers or whatever you want to call it, leaders, whatever you want to call it, facilitators, I don't know what you want to call that. We were dressed exactly alike. We dressed up as the same type of person. It was hilarious. But and Super Saturday has made such a transition in our life that we decided to help out Raleigh, and we became part of the market council for Fayetteville and Raleigh areas. So whoop, whoop, that's awesome. So we get to help plan it and
how
market
she gets
it.
herself a whoop.
I did. I gave him a whoop, whoop.
I can't. Whoop, whoop.
I should just elbow him in the face.
Yeah.
With it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, we'll move on. I suggest, even if you cannot make it to this Super Saturday, plan for your next one.
No,
the next
stop
one's
that.
in January.
Just make it.
Yes, but Romero just said they can't go because of football.
Okay, well.
Plan on going to the next one. Miss
that.
the game. Something.
Do that. Don't
have someone
don't miss
else
the
take
game.
your kids to the game.
Don't miss the game. This is crucial. And beat your son's game. Make the next one. But it is very, very important. It changed my way of thinking, guys. It changed my way of thinking from, thinking my wife was crazy and that we were all joining some pyramid scheme to, holy crap, this is awesome. This changes lives. Let's do this. That's what it did for me. So, on that note, we're going to talk about how to form tonight. How to build relationships. How do you form relationships? Because for people like me, even Jennifer is very quiet and very seclusive. If me and Jennifer went to a party back in the day, I would be the one that would be running around talking to everybody, and Jennifer would be the one standing in the corner going, "You're being an a-hole because you're not talking to me right now."
Or I'd be sitting on a couch or a chair somewhere.
And for me, I'm very boom, I will fly around. I will talk to everybody. But my hard part is that when I came out of the Army, there was a different me. I didn't know how to relate the same way as when I was, or even as before. So it was, my mindset was just different.
So like if we went back to how we related in the past, it was more like casual relating. It was, I'm just talking to you just to talk to you, and I'm not really finding a whole lot of, I don't want to say value, but connection with you. So I really feel like Beachbody made us not be so self-centered or self-seeking, but to really reach out and how to relate with other people, not only for us, but for them. So it made it more give and take, okay, right, if that makes sense. So really what we first wanted to talk about is why we direct our conversations a certain way. Why when we're talking to people, we want to steer it the way we want to steer it, okay? If I can say anything, Beachbody has made me think outside my own self and why I want to connect with people, why I want to be the leader in my own conversations with these people. Because if I'm not leading this conversation, then what am I really doing? Okay, because there has to be certain aspects of this conversation that will lead to more deeper parts of the conversation, because you don't want it to be shallow. You definitely don't want it to be shallow. You really want to listen to what the people are telling you, and you want to relate to it in your life, because you can relate with anything about anything with anyone. Ultimately, you really can. It's just about getting past yourself and trying to. Okay, that's really all it boils down to. If we are directing the conversation, we will appear more confident, social, interactive, and it will help you and them in the long run. Is Joey in this conversation? Woo! And so
I honestly love me some Joey.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I watch your post. Joey, I hope you can hear me right now. I watch your post, and I absolutely love you. And I've never met you. And I only know your husband, really, from face to face, and that was just in war. So
I do. But anyway, sorry. So being confident in the conversation will also help you steer it. They will look to you and come to you and talk more to you if you are the director, okay?
It's really just about knowing people. You know, like, if they say in a conversation, if I sat here and I told you all about myself, oh, you know what, I played football in high school, and I wrestled, and I'm really good at basketball too, and baseball. See how she looked away? That's how much she gave a crap. I just proved my point over camera. But if I said something different, like, what sports did you play in high school?
Softball, and I ran track.
Softball, and you ran track. What position did you play in softball?
Shortstop.
Shortstop. What was the most fearful thing that you've ever seen at shortstop?
The ball coming at you so quickly.
Yeah. Jennifer's afraid of balls. We'll edit that out later, I guess. What'd you run in track?
The 4x1, the 4x4, and then they even asked me to do hurdles.
Oh my gosh! You're like this tall. How did they ask you to do hurdles?
I did jumping too. I don't know why they asked me. I told them they were stupid.
And then you ran the 4x4?
Yeah.
How'd that feel? Because every time I ever ran the 4x4, I always felt like I was going to vomit afterwards.
I don't know if I vomited, but I felt like I was going in slow motion.
That was because of probably all the tall people running around you. But, I mean, let's be honest. Like, when you form, people don't want to hear about you.
That's right.
They don't want to hear about you. You have to think of the questions inside your head that can get them to talk about themselves and bring more of them out into you so that you get to know them better.
I had a thought while you were saying that, and I totally lost it.
I seen it too. I almost shut up right then.
It'll come back to me. Oh, that's it. That's what it is. So have you ever heard of the phrase, slow to speak, quick to listen? That is what you want to do. You want to actively be engaged in the conversation, but you want to almost be so slow in speaking out what you really want to say that's like on the edge of your fingers or on the edge of your tongue, and really listen to what they're saying.
Beachbody changed my life.
You don't want to do that.
Oh, crap. I blew it.
The reason why I'm saying is, you know, that first instance when they ask you like something back and you're like, you want to like download.
You need to do Les Mills Combat and drink Shakeology right now.
Like, and they're talking about not being happy in their marriage, or they're totally exhausted because they worked all day. Don't rush it, okay? The reason why is there's a format that you can follow. That is the acronym for FORM. And that's really what we wanted to show you and tell you about, because I find myself doing this instantaneously, automatic. It has come natural to do that now because I've put it into practice so many times. There's been conversations where I feel like I am prying information out of people, but at the same time, I'm still following form because it helps me think of the next question, the next way to go about the conversation. So the acronym, FORM, okay? The first part is...
Go ahead and give them the whole acronym first. It's
family, occupation, recreation, message. Okay? Or the meat of the conversation. Or you can make that last one whatever you want. I have changed it I don't know how many times.
the message. I'll be honest with you. There's moments where we don't even share. I've had moments where I didn't even share Beachbody with somebody. But what I did is I walked away and I started to pray over them for something else. And that's just me. The message is whatever you're trying to get across. What are you going through as a life coach?
Don't jump the gun.
Oh, sorry.
Slow your roll. He's getting
I went to 4.
He did. He went
That
too
happens.
fast.
I go from 0 to 4 real quick.
Okay, so if you take the F and you go to family, now you have to do this a case-by-case scenario. I have spoke to people that technically do not have an actual marriage and children. So you need to relate to them on their level, okay? So if they're single or married, you have to figure out how to get their family conversation going. If you want to talk to them about their background, that's fine. That is still conversating about them. You can get tons of conversation pieces out of that. But each part of these things, they may happen quickly or they may happen slowly. It just depends on the person and how quick they are to get through the conversation, okay? So if you're talking about their family, you're not talking about yours yet. You're only talking about theirs. This is the beginning of the conversation. So you want to make sure that they are only talking about them. You can relate minorly, you know, like, yeah, I'm married and I have 3 children and I'm a stay-at-home parent. That's like a little drop of part of who you are. But ultimately, you're giving the conversation to them.
The biggest part is, as we go through the next 3 steps, it is very easy to dismiss somebody. You know, if I was to send Marissa a message and I'm like, hey, you know, how's your hubby in the military and how's your son? And, she answers the question, and then I go, do you want to sign up for Beachbody? Or even not that intense. If I was to say, how's your son? And then she answers me with how her son is. And then my next response is, are you drinking your Shakeology? I'm not concerned. That doesn't show love. That doesn't show concern. That doesn't show me caring. So if you ask them about their family, don't drift off into instantly talking about yourself. Relate with them through your family. Mm-hmm. So if I ask Jennifer about her family and she's like, well, my husband's kind of an idiot, then I'm like, oh, well, my husband's kind of an idiot too.
Aren't they all? That kind of thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But ultimately, when you are planning out this conversation, you want to plan ahead to the next part, okay? So however you can, by the play of their words, get to ask, what do you do for a living? Or are you working? Or
where are you working at now?
Where do you work now? Like, literally, you can also find this on their profile. Obviously, you're probably talking to someone that you are friends with. So you can investigate on their profile about where they're working and what they do. And it can be directed by that part of their, by looking at their profile and something they posted about their work today. It can be easy as you want it to be. It's all about your perspective on how you get these conversations going.
I see that you're, I see that you're an It Works Reps. How is that?
Or how did you get into that?
How did you get into that? Like, and I don't recommend that, but because that usually turns into a challenge. But just as an example, when you see that on Facebook, you turn it into a question. Oh, how did you start working for Walmart? If I was to talk to Romero, we were in the military together. Hey, so where are you working at now? That's how fast.
That has nothing to do with his work, Romero. That leads us to, once you talk about your occupation, so when you're not working, what do you guys like to do for fun? It is a simple transition right there. I don't know how many times I have done that simple transition, asking them.
What do you like to do for fun?
I like to relax at home because the kids keep me busy. So I like to watch movies with my husband.
Really?
Yeah. And we do barbecues and play cornhole all the time.
I was going to say, I see you every once in a while play cornhole on Facebook. I see that all the time. Mm-hmm. So you guys must just socialize a lot.
That's right. That's what we do. Sometimes too much.
That easy, guys. It's literally that easy. You can scroll through somebody's Facebook profile and go.
I've done it while I'm talking to them. And I try not to like their things while I'm talking to them because it makes it a little conspicuous. But sometimes I get so excited I like their things. And then I'm kind of, oops. But you can definitely investigate while you're talking to them, because any helpful tips, because who is not completely out there on Facebook? You can tell just by a couple words by a person and their profile posts if they're a negative or positive perspective type person. You can tell if they're lazy or if they're active. You can tell if they're family oriented or not. There's so much that you can learn just by maybe 2-3 posts on their Facebook page. You can tell that if a person only posts somebody else's things, somebody else's videos, sharing somebody else's comments or, something like that, that they're still learning how to do Facebook and they're still learning how to be themselves on Facebook. Okay. So get them to figure out their own identity. You can do that too. You are here to empower people. That is solely what you are here to do, which leads to our next one, and that is the direct message. Now, this can, like I said, take a little while in your conversation, or it can be really drawn out. It can be really the next day, everything just plans out and you're talking to these people and your conversation is just flowing really easy. It just depends on you and how they respond to you.
The biggest thing is, at this moment, after you've talked about family, after you've talked about occupation and recreation, at some point, they should kind of know what you do.
If you're doing it correctly, they're going to want to go to your profile, if they haven't seen it already, and see what you're all about.
So now, this is when you're reading, okay? I do not, and I've gotten this from Mark Briggs himself. I learned something. I don't tell every single person about how to become a coach. Because guess what? All that creates is more stress for me. It creates somebody else who's not going to do something that I believe that they can do, but they're afraid to put in the work. So there's certain people that I mention challenge groups. You know, do this. This is the way to start you off right. And there's different challenge groups. For us, Jennifer and I started running 7-day challenge groups, where what you have to do is buy the $30 sampler pack, and we take you through 7 days or 6 days of recipes with the different flavors, with some exercise and different things about nutrition and exercise. And then by that time, we're trying to turn you over. We're trying to show you this is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. There's times where maybe they just need to start the workouts. They need to start, they need to buy a challenge pack and they just need to go in. And then there's people that you find that are self-motivated. These are you guys. You're self-motivated. You are not afraid to put in work and hard work. And you're not afraid to actually know what you need to do throughout the day to be successful. At this point, this is where you bring the message and you offer those different things. And how do you offer those different things, babe?
It really depends on the person. If I notice in my conversation, if, when they're talking about themselves, you can tell if they're a more positive speaking person, if they're being real with you and you're looking at their profile to figure out even more about them. That will dictate whether or not I invite them to the business or whether or not I just invite them along my fitness journey with me. Because I strongly believe that anybody that starts a fitness program, their perspective, their endurance, their attitude, and their energy will all change. And when that happens, then I can ultimately invite them to the business. That's where my follow-up with them will be created. That's where I will lead into the business opportunity and see if they are willing to do it at all. Sometimes it may not even ever go that way. It just depends on their accountability in my challenge group, which is basically, we decided to do an ongoing community now. So I will know who's actively doing and participating from there, and I can give them the message about why we do what we do and if they want to try it themselves. Or I just continue to give them information about programs so they can better improve their health. But we have 3 reasons why it's important to do these directed conversations with forming with your clients or potential clients. One, it gets you information about their life. It connects you. It teaches you as a coach how to relate with people, because once you start practicing it behind the screen, you can practice it in person.
Don't be afraid to write notes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't be afraid to write notes. Oh, where I know Krista Brooks from? I know her from, her husband was in the Army with me, and she has this many kids, and I've been over to her house and I've done this. Like we've hung out, like whatever it is. Like, don't be afraid to write notes.
It's good for when you go back to the next time you talk to them, because you'll be able to recall what you were talking about the last time, about the information that you got. Another thing is, it will help you realize if they are actually a good candidate for your journey to join you with, or if they need to wait a little bit longer and you need to see how well that they will do.
People have different personality types, guys. Like, they're either quick to jump, they're either like, they're a team captain. Okay, I call people team captains. When you hear something and you're like, that'll work, you know what I'm in. You're a team captain. You're not afraid to take the reins and go. But then there's other people that it takes a little bit longer. And then another group, it takes a little bit longer. And then the group that just keeps waiting. And the group that'll never do it.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing that it helps you do is it helps you build relationships. Ultimately, the goal of a Beachbody coach is to build relationships. And I like it because everything that we have been taught faith-wise in our church and everything, it has all revolved around building relationships. And so this actually comes easier than most things for us, okay? Naturally, it was our responsibility as youth leaders, as home group leaders, as participants in our church. You know, we were leaders in our church. We had to know how to relate with people, but it didn't come easy at first. We had to practice at it. Before we were given more responsibility, we had to make it a priority and make it a, what do you call it?
Necessity?
A necessity for our life.
Sorry, I was thinking about Jungle Book. The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
He's got a song going on in his head. Isn't that cute?
Don't forget about your worries and your strife.
But if we make it something that is vital, something that is encouraging for us, whether a conversation dies out or a conversation just soars, that's a learning tool for all of us. So
the last thing that I want to say, and then I'm going to let Jennifer close, is if you were to work at McDonald's, every day you would come in at whatever time McDonald's opens. If it's 24 hours, then whatever time you're scheduled. So let's say that you're scheduled at 8 a.m. 8 a.m., 5 days a week, 6 days a week, you know that you have to be there. You know that from 8 to 4, you have to be there. What do you do from 8 to 4? From 8 to 4, you, I don't know, maybe make some fries.
clean the bathroom.
Clean the bathrooms.
Clean the dining area.
Stop adding stuff in.
Look, there's tasks that have to be done, okay? I'm task-oriented.
All ours went to cleaning. There's things that you have to do. No matter what job you're in. If you're a mom and you're a stay-at-home mom, you know that your kid's going to wake up at this time And then at this moment, you need to make a bottle, you need to make food, you have to do this, you have to do this. We are so task-oriented. It's unbelievable. In order to form, you have to be task-oriented. You have to be accountable to even yourself and accountable to them. Take notes. Don't start a conversation without feeding back through and remembering what you read up on. Like read what you last talked about. But when you go in every single day, know what you need to do. Because that's what separated us from everybody else, is just that we have a schedule. We don't need a boss to tell us, you need to do this. But we're on every single call we can get on. We're on every single call we can get on because we want to learn something. And then after that, we make a schedule for ourselves. And we push. And there's some days we don't get to it. But the forming side of it, it's just building relationships. And you have to do it every single day.
If you want to succeed more than your average bear, or more than you can even think about or imagine, start somewhere, such as forming, because if you can relate with people, then the opportunity is endless, because ultimately everyone wants a friend. Everyone wants to connect with someone and have someone that they can talk to. So this is a good way to start building that relationship with your potential clients, your followers, whatever you want to call them. It's a great way to transition yourself and be more confident you. And
sorry, just keep going.
And understand.
Angie, that was jacked up. That was the wrong time to do that.
And just to grow as a coach and as a leader. That is all I can suggest. I love to form with people because I am that task-oriented list type person. So this helps me stay focused in where I'm at for my conversation. So Anthony saying, go back and look at what you last talked about, that's me, guys. I want to know what I last talked about so I know which letter I need to go towards next. So if you guys have any questions, please message us. Let us know. We are totally here to help whenever you need it. But I hope that you found this valuable and informative and you can learn from it and apply it. And we wish you all a wonderful rest of the week. Bye, guys.
Bye.